Welcome, everybody. We are back from vacation. I'm here. One of them's behind the camera. The other one's at practice. But don't worry. We are working on some new material. Meantime, I have found an old interview that I did with the Greek radio show. And it talks a lot about myself and the kids and the situation and how I went about, with my social media stuff. I'm breaking it down into two pieces. So I'm going to show part one now. I'm going to show you guys part two later, probably tomorrow. Meantime, if you like it, please like it, share it. And if you're new, please subscribe to my channel. And we'll see you around.
Hey everybody, welcome to another fantastic episode of the Greek AF Radio podcast. I'm Ari, and with me is Fotis Stamos, and we have a very, very, very special guest today. This guy, if you haven't seen him, you got to watch right when you get off of this video and podcast, because it's so entertaining and so fun and so cool. We'll get to that. Let me go back to Foti. Foti, how are you?
I'm good, and yourself, Ari. And as to your point, once again, another exciting guest who actually captured my attention because I stumbled across him on Instagram. And going back to our culture, food, wine, and dance. And I'm going to say this to you, Ari. You think you can dance?
I don't think.
Wait till you see our next guest. We want to welcome to the show Jimmythegreek7, also known as Jimmy the Greek, all the way on the West Coast. We're on the East Coast. Jimmy's signing in live from the West Coast. Jimmy, thank you so much for taking the time to join us. Welcome to the show.
Thank you for having me. It's my pleasure. Thank you very much. I'm excited to be here.
So Jimmy, Foti brought you to my attention, and it was like I said before, if you guys haven't seen him, you have a huge following, by the way, so I'm sure a lot of people have seen it. But if they haven't, just right when you click off of this, just go to his TikTok, his Instagram, and watch these videos. They're so funny. Tell us, Jimmy, how did this happen? How did you, I know you're Greek, so you have it in you, but yeah, but how did it get to this level?
Well, what do you tell us real quick, Jimmy, where you're from and where you grew up?
So I was born here in the United States, in Seattle. My parents moved us to Greece when I was 6 years old. Went to elementary school, junior high there, moved back in the States and when I was a ninth grader. And just like most Greeks, family restaurants, all I did was work all the time. And my love for all this stuff, music and Greek dance in particular, I would pop. Oh, I'm sorry about that. I would pop in music. You there?
Yeah, I got you.
I would always listen to music as a dishwasher growing up in the restaurant business. So I would always listen to rebetika and any traditional stuff because moving back here, I realized, from coming from Greece, I don't know a lot about Greek traditional dances. Back in the day, Greeks in Greece, we didn't know any dancing. So I was like, man, I'm Greek and I don't know how to dance, or I don't know anything about our music. So I started listening to stuff like that from 14, 15 years old. And I fell in love with that stuff. And I remember ordering VHS tapes and cassette tapes and CDs from New York, Greek music, something.
Yeah.
And famous Greek music in New York.
Yes. So I remember I used to buy, my dad used to spend money. He's like, oh, you want Greek traditional music? We're going to spend whatever you want. So he used to buy stuff all the time. And I used to listen to rebetika and, sometimes here and there I would listen to some rap, American music. And of course that stuff, my parents was like, my dad was like, it was a no-no. But I love music. I love dancing. And then I joined the Greek, our dance group that we have here, the local dance group, the Greek dance group that's where I met all my friends. Until I was like 21 years old, I didn't know any Greeks in Seattle. I wasn't involved in the Greek community. So I started getting more involved in the Greek community and very much.
Can I ask you real quick, how is the Greek scene in Seattle? Is it a big community? Is it small?
We probably have about 5,000-6,000 Greeks.
Okay. Oh, wow.
It's not very big, but the ones that are here, everybody knows everybody. So it's big to us. So
it's a tight community.
Exactly. So I got involved with the Greek dancing there, and I took it very seriously for many years. And we go down to California mostly for the folk dance festivals, competitions, and I was heavily involved in that stuff. And all that slowly came. I stopped doing all that stuff when I started having kids, because it was just hard to keep up. And then that's where my love pretty much, from all that dancing stuff, it went to my kids, and we'd always, do dances here at the house and always record art. So we did all that TikTok stuff before there was such a thing as TikTok. Like, seriously.
Good for
So,
you.
you were doing this kind of stuff just on your own,
Yeah.
without a camera, without anything, just because you guys thought it was fun and you liked it.
Yes, and with cameras. I mean, I have recordings of the kids and us doing dances here around the house, and the camera was always on around the house.
Funny.
And now if you fast forward, it was kind of funny. I think it was like 2009. We were just sitting in the kitchen and we did that dance from the Will Smith, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, Apache, jump on it, jump on it. It was just me, and the kids were very little. They were like, it was 5 and 4, and we did that dance here. And then fast forward 5 years later, I'm like, yeah, let's remake that video. We remade it, and so I had 2 clips of that. We'll leave it to that, right? So then you fast forward 2019, where slowly COVID started happening, and then we had the lockdown, and I had just gone through a divorce a couple months before that. So I was down here quite a bit, and then the pandemic happened and I was very depressed. And my daughter was like, hey, Dad, why don't you download TikTok? I'm like, what the heck's TikTok? And before it became TikTok, it used to be called Musical.ly. It was something the little kids used to do a lot. It was like an app called Musical.ly. Wow. And then they changed that to TikTok. So I remember seeing my kids always doing Musical.ly stuff and doing all these things that little kids were doing. I'm like, I'm not doing that little, for the, that little app thing for the little kids. It's like, no, adults do it too. So I'm like, nah, I was saying no. And then a day or two later, I'm like, all right, let's download it. So I downloaded it. And I thought, okay, what am I going to do for my first video? And I remember those two dances from the Fresh Prince that we did, that I had recordings. I'm like, let's make a third one. So we made a third one, and then I put all those 3 clips together, and it pretty much showed the 5-year transition, year 1, year 2, year 3. I posted it, and it went viral. My first video. Wow. Right away, off the bat. And then I got addicted. I was like, whoa, what's going on here? It was like it was an adrenaline rush. And you know what? I say this as a joke, but it's real. TikTok did save my life around that time.
Interesting.
Depression wise, and because me and the kids just stayed busy. We were on lockdown, and all we did was make videos all the time and just keep posting. You just keep posting and just have fun with it and just enjoy making videos. And then we're getting a lot of feedback from people, how much they loved it, and because they were on lockdown too, so they had nothing to watch. And a lot of Greeks, they're not really into this, this kind of stuff.
Do you find your audience is mostly Greek, minority Greek, half and half, just all over the place? What do you know about it?
I do have a Greek following on TikTok, and that's because I've done a handful of videos of Greek, not a lot. So I would say small fraction is Greeks, but they're very present. They make themselves known. So yeah, because I did a video. What's his name? Are you sure you're Greek, or?
Excuse me.
Excuse me, Greek.
Excuse me, are you Greek? Yes. He saw one of my videos where I pick up the phone and I start dialing, like I'm dialing Greece, and I'm taking forever to dial, and then I start yelling, "Yeah, Makos!" Like we always do when we call Greece. We're always yelling like they're next to us or something. And he thought that was hilarious, and he shared it on all his platforms, and then I got a big Greek following just from that video alone. And it did pretty good. And then I did a couple other Greek stuff. But, primarily I do this dance stuff with the kids. We enjoy doing this stuff. And we've done some Greek dancing stuff on TikTok. I haven't posted them on Instagram.
Yeah.
not yet, but
So you find, you know, this, it sounds to me, and correct me if I'm wrong, it sounds to me like outside of the whole social media buzz, this is a cool activity to do with your kids. It connects you, it bonds you, right? It's
definitely
just family fun and family bonding.
yeah. So
And-
my ex has, you know, we have the kids, we split them. I have 50 custody. So when they come home, that's what we do now.
Yeah.
It's just fun because up until like maybe a year ago, 2 years ago, I would take them. We'll go bike riding, we'll go play football, or we go play around it. Now my kids are a little bit older, right? So they're like, nah, we don't want to do that. We don't want to do this. So I'm like, all right, well, let's make some videos. So and sometimes it's hard to get them off the couch, but once they're up, they're ready to go, and they're teaching dad some stuff, and it's 100%. To me, that's what it is. It's just making memories. I want them to be able to look back and be like, hey, look, we used to do, our dad was sort of cool.
Yeah. Well, I was gonna say that it's
Cool.
definitely the cool dad right there, because how many dads can say that they're viral on TikTok? Like,
Yeah.
I even like think about doing something. I'm like, oh my God, no way, I can't do it. Like, and you did it, so that's awesome.
Jimmy,
It's always been. I'm sorry.
I was sorry not to interrupt you, but I was going to ask you, as far as like the choreography of these videos, seems like there's got to be a lot of work that's put into this. Correct me if I'm wrong.
So, I mean, usually, we don't make up the dances, really. The dances are usually what's trending on TikTok.
Yeah.
So my daughter's really good at dancing. And a lot of people will comment and say, oh, the daughter is she's not wiggling enough, or she's not dancing enough. She's the actual professional dancer. She's just classy. And she's just kind of like, I don't need to do this. I don't need to do that. So she'll break down the dances, and I'm like, all right, let's do this. So we'll learn the dance trends, and then we'll split them up between the three of us. So that's where the us comes in. We'll split it up between the three of us, and we'll try to make it our own. And then we'll throw in the choreo. Okay, you come in here. So we're always busy. Like even the littlest things that I'll do. Like these are little secrets that I think some creators probably know about. But like when we make these videos, always everything's choreographed. Everything like okay, you're gonna walk in the back, and I don't know, take the orange off the countertop and put it in the refrigerator, then slowly come in the front and dance. Everything, all that's choreographed. So it's always kind of, because it keeps people, they see the video once, then they'll come out, they'll be like, hey, let me see what she was doing. Well, what was he doing in the back? Look at him. He went and put something in the refrigerator, then came back. So it just keeps people watching 3-4 times in a row just to see what everybody was doing.
That's so funny.
Which brings up the numbers of, it keeps people engaged.
Jimmy, how long does it take typically to put out one video?
It doesn't take as long as most people think. I usually, like, a video might take about half an hour.
Oh, okay.
Because the dancing is pretty. We're all dancers. We like to perform. So, and growing up, everybody used to call me a show off because I was always liked to be the center of attention and all that. But now I'm trying to give them the center of attention. So usually about half an hour. If it's a complicated one, then it might take a little bit longer. But we try to kick out once a week. We try to make 3-4 videos in a day. So we'll take a couple hours and put them together, and then and then everything's saved pretty much on the app. So I'll just go on there and filter some stuff, or try to go through all our takes and see which one's the best one. So it doesn't take that long.